So here I got 5-minute candles, 5-day chart for ABUS, Arbutus Biopharmaceuticals, right? So it bounced off the 200 SMA earlier on Monday from under 250 to over 3. Got rejected at 350, and then upon this catalyst we'll go over, shot up from under 3 to over 9 briefly, and then closed on Friday after hours at 513 underneath the 200 SMA, way under the VWAP, which was 668, pretty much on the 50 SMA. And let's go over the catalyst. First of all, here's a news article, make it simple. Moderna lost a patent case to them, and we all know Moderna is one of the lead candidates for the coronavirus vaccine. So this could allow Arbutus to make royalty claims on Moderna's drugs. Moderna downplayed it says, but of course they won't say anything that's going to lower the sentiment of their stock, right? But as we go over through the 8K from Arbutus on this day, it's pretty much saying on that day, the U.S. State Patent and Trademark Office declared this, and Arbutus is entitled to receive tiered low single-digit royalties on future sales of Genevant products covered by the license patents, right? So if Genevant enters into a sub-license agreement, Arbutus would receive 20% of the revenue received by Genevant for the sub-licensing of the intellectual property licensed by Arbutus to Genevant. And Arbutus owns approximately 40% of Genevant, right? So Genevant had the patent, but Arbutus owns 40% of them, right? So this is highly speculative. Nothing's completely set in stone. Yeah, we don't even know if Moderna is going to get the vaccine. But as we see, let's look at the daily to get an even better feel for this. So here's daily candles. Let's go the whole year, actually. Now, so we made a big move. This was $1, and this is a $1 stock in April, right? But it also was a $3-ish stock in February. But what's most catches your eye is, look at this. Previously it was doing about 10 million on that day, 8 million on this day. This is gonna be so most they had was 12 million before. Lately it had a 22 million, 106 million, and here on Friday 220 million shares were traded. So that's crazy. That's a crazy amount of volume. And luckily they do a 13G right here, so we can do a recent count. I did the math right here. So they do pretty much 3.5 million shares is 5.1%. That totals around 70 million shares, 69 million. And if you go look at the 10Q, it's the same. So there's no dilution in play here, which is nice, right? See, as of May 8th, they had 68.9 million shares. So you got to figure 220 million shares. The whole share count got flipped 3 times more than that. And let's go over this thing. So the deeper and deeper I look into this, the more bullish I get. This almost looks like it could be a potential multi-day, multi-week runner. So 70 million shares, not that big in the grand scheme of things when you're getting this much volume. They had $26 million in cash as of remember, this was as of May. Oh no, this is March 31st. So they got $26 million of cash, right? Their revenue for the 3 months ended last year was 508,000. This year 835,000, right? So it's almost double. No, it's what is that? 60% increase in his revenue before all this speculation. And then you look at their non-cash royalty revenue. It went from 171,000 to 656. So there's just a quarterly, obviously, but showing their signs of growth even before all this speculation, which is cool. And which is even more bullish, I didn't go over on that 13G, is look, that's a 5% stake that Morgan Stanley is disclosing on July 7th. So Morgan Stanley's buying 3.5 million shares in this company. So it's also, you're following this money. You're following big money here. But let's go over some of the actually some of that. Usually I don't go all the way out to the 3-year, but I think this is how you see what happened today, or last week. See the top of this week, the 9. I think it was these poor souls that have been holding since September potentially. I mean, how come it would have stopped right at this point, right? So that's the top of the wick, but then look at the top of the candle right here, which is all the way in 2017. So I mean, that's kind of a speculative thing to say, but I mean, look at the chart. Top of the wick, top of the candle. And then here we are at 513. Look at where that is. The previous resistance is almost acting as support here. So there's some right here. You could say maybe a 475, but that's a pretty long back. This is where the recent one will be, I think, 350. I think this news is going to be maybe beyond that. So only support points I find on this one was probably the let me see. Four's one right here. So it acted as support here and then resistance here. So I'm gonna be real curious if the 4 holds. But before it hits, if it falls below this 5 on pre-market on Monday, 450, which is gonna be shown on another time frame. But $4, 350. That's gonna be one support. I showed you already. $3, which is right here. It acted as a support very briefly, but 353, 4. And then we gotta go back to the shorter time frames to get my price targets here. Here's the actual. Let's go to 3-day just to get a feel for the spike. So 480 is gonna be my first one. So my big target is it gonna be over $5 on Monday morning? And if it is $5, I'm gonna be really watching for $5 to be the support. If it's not 480, I'll be watching this 480 level, which was pretty much the low on Monday, to hold. 480 doesn't hold, the numbers we went over earlier, 450, 4, 353. Those are all my levels of support. Let's go to 1 day to see. So 480 here, then 450 from the other one time frame I showed you guys, 4, 350, and then all the way to 3. And that's saying if those are the levels I'll be looking to load if this doesn't hold. But if it's way over 5, or if it's holding 5 in the morning, my price targets I think is going to be looking heavy at. I got them all on here. So 520, it's got to stay over 520. So if it's over 5, I'll load it, right? Then after 520, I'm gonna throw my stop loss right there at 520. So if it breaks that down, I'm not gonna go let it fall on me. Not really a price target, but once I get in at that 5 after that 520, that's where I'm gonna throw my stop loss, just because it's heavy. And if it falls back down, it might go fast. So over to 520, my first real price target is right here, 560. So it was a support all the way here, so it'll be heavy. Then 6. After 6, it'll be soft, I think, all the way to 7. I mean, look how fast it sold off from 7 to 6. These are 5-minute candles, so what? 2, 3, 4, 6. Half an hour. Fair amount of volume, but that's pretty fast. So after 6, if I think break 6, you might take profits at 650 or something, but I think it could gap. If it breaks 6 strongly, it's gonna hit 7. So I'll be looking for 7. But after that, it'll get heavy right here at 735. After 735, I'll be looking for the 780. So this is where the top of 3 or 4 of these candles. So after the 780, I'm looking. I think 780 breaks. It's gonna. 788. Just off the psychological barrier of just 8. So that will be one kind of range I'll be looking for altogether. It breaks that. I'm looking for 875, and that's this. The top of these candles, pretty much. So as I repeat, I'll be looking for the 5 to hold in the morning. If it doesn't, I'll be looking for the 480, obviously, or the 450. If that doesn't hold, 4. The 5 holds, I'll be looking for. I got a swing. I actually swung it at 4. I think 97 when it broke 4 on the end of the day, but it's a risky play as it could gap down. But I was thinking it might gap up as it did on Friday. People will be thinking the same will repeat, I think. So I'll be looking for the 520 to push. Well, I'll put my stop loss, but I'll be looking for the 560, which is a 12% gain. So you could take profits. You don't even need to shoot for 12. This is real, just a more like a scalping overview of how I'm going to trade this. I mean, I think this could go up a lot higher, but I'm going to be riding the waves. So I'll be looking to sell at 560 if it can't hold. But if it can, then I'll look for 6, then 7, 780. Wait up. 735, 780, 875 right here, and then let's go all the way to the back to that thing, the 3-year, real quick. Because if 875 breaks, I think the next one will be 9, which is pretty much the high of the candle right here, as well as the previous support way back here. And then after that, it's pretty heavy. It gets heavy around here, like 10. So I'd take profits probably like 990 right before the 10, 990, $10 range, and then I'm gonna go around 1070, 75, which was the support here and the resistance here, or like 1075, 1080. After that, guide will be pretty light till I think 1168, and this is a long time ago, so this not that won't be necessarily that strong a resistance, especially with this type of volume. This could really set some records. It was $12 in August of 2008. It was a $15 stock in 2015. So this is an interesting play right here. I usually don't think stocks are going to keep going like this, but this is crazy news with this type of black swan and having a patent on a leading candidate on the coronavirus vaccination. It's pretty wild, so curious to see what happens this week.